Hello there, and welcome to episode 2 of the series, The Art of Prompting. In our first episode, we explored context rot, the silent killer of AI agents. We saw how a cluttered context window dilutes the AI's attention or a model's focus, burying critical data in the valley of forgetfulness. To stop this rot, we have to speak the language of the machine. In this episode, we take the first step in our journey, mastering the art of prompting. The skills you learn today will supercharge your daily AI routine while giving you the exact baseline needed to conquer advanced vibe coding or systematic agentic engineering, which is exactly where this series is taking you. We're going to learn how to write effective prompts and show you some not so good prompts. Most people treat AI like a messaging app. They type a short, vague message and hope for the best. Or they dump a massive, unformatted block of text with irrelevant information and wonder why the AI gets confused. But if you want to build autonomous agents or just get production-grade results from your assistant, we must shift our mindset. We must stop chatting and start engineering. Let's start with a common habit, politeness, such as saying please, thank you, or if you don't mind. While this makes for a nice human conversation, in prompt engineering, it's actually a bad habit. Every word you send is broken down into tokens, which we talked about in episode 1. They incur cost and require processing time. But more importantly, politeness dilutes attention. Because in LLMs, a large language model, or your AI's self-attention, weights must always add up to 100%. Those polite words are mathematically and actively stealing focus from your actual instructions or core logic. In complex multi-step tasks, this dilution leads directly to information loss. To keep your AI sharp, fast, deterministic, and efficient, you must learn to be direct and instruction dense. We will have some real-world examples to review later in this episode. Along with politeness is slang. Humans have changed the dictionary definitions of words. For humans, bad and sick means impressive. Wicked is brilliant, or all the other words and phrases we use like fire, heavy, deep, get out, shut up, and so on. We are not doing any favors for ourselves by speaking this way to a mathematical and logical mind. Skip the fluff, save your courtesy and slang for your human colleagues. Your machine demands pure syntax. Let's learn to communicate how they do. If you feel the need to be polite, there is a time and place when the task is complete. Disorganized prompts are the main trigger for the lost in the middle phenomenon, proven by researchers at Stanford in 2023. If you dump a wall of text and bury your constraints inside a rambling paragraph, the model is highly likely to ignore them. Why does this happen? Because we are writing our prompts directly inside the AI's tiny restrictive input box. It forces you to think line by line instead of how you're designed to, which is structurally. Writing in a chat window introduces the anxiety of the enter key. One accidental tap sends a half-finished instruction, forcing you into a messy loop of corrections. To break this habit, use the Notepad method. Never compose your logic inside that chat UI. Open a blank external text editor first. Treat it as your blueprinting workspace. I use Notepad and have it on my desktop for easy access. You can reuse it over and over. Once you paste it into your AI agent, they have it. As you start to develop multiple agents, you can have multiple tabs in Notepad, which allows you to structurally work on different projects, start new ideas, or reinvent old ones. Your unique approach will develop and evolve. What you want to do here is draft your rules, isolate your data, review your constraints, and verify the structure. Perfect it, and ensure it is complete before you ever copy and paste it. Moving offline gives your brain the layout to organize thoughts properly and completely stops accidental half-baked submissions from wrecking your chat history. When drafting your blueprint, organization is everything. And the absolute best tool for this is YAML, or a YAML-esque style. Fun history lesson, YAML was first created back in 2001. It originally stood for Yet Another Markup Language. But the creators quickly changed it to a recursive acronym. YAML ain't markup language. Why? Because it isn't meant for documents. It is built purely for data serialization. Markup language is a text encoding system that uses tags, symbols, or annotations to define the structure, formatting, or meaning of a digital document. It tells software programs like web browsers or word processors how to interpret and display the content rather than executing complex algorithmic logic. YAML is a clean, human-readable format that LLMs understand natively. It drops complex code brackets and heavy syntax tags in favor of simple key-value pairs. By wrapping your prompt in YAML, you surgically separate your system rules, data variables, and edge case constraints into distinct, unmistakable blocks. This gives the model's self-attention mechanism a flawless map to follow, completely starving out the lost in the middle error. Structured inputs dictate structured outputs. Here's a simple structure prompting checklist. Role or persona. Establish who the AI is acting as. They're a sales agent, they're a photographer, they're a programmer, they're an engineer, so on and so forth. Context. Provide background info or variables. Task. Clearly define what needs to be done. Constraints or requirements. Set limits on tone, formatting, or word count. And output format. Specify how the answer should be structured, like image quality, a table, bullet points, CSV, JSON, and so on. Mastering YAML or a YAML-esque style today isn't just a formatting trick. It is a fundamental engineering habit you will rely on the second we start building autonomous AI agents. Here are some real-world examples that I've come across working in the AI industry. Could you please look over this Python script and let me know if you see any bugs? Thank you so much. Or, to the other end, fix my code. Example 1 has unnecessary input, and neither prompt gives specific, clear instructions or parameters. This leads the AI to interpret. Here is how a prompt like this previous examples could look using some ideas of writing in YAML in a clean line-by-line format. Notice that there's the role of what the AI will be, the general task of what's going to be needed here, the instructions, output format, where they can find the areas in the Python script, so on and so forth. But it's nice and clean. And here's another example. Look it over, read it to yourself. I have a couple thoughts on this one. First, I wonder if this individual is this pleasant in public. And second, what the AI is thinking, how it will see these words and equate them to mathematical process. You notice the very first sentence is good afternoon. I was hoping you might be able to. That is unnecessary context and is not going to help you with achieving your task. And then if you notice at the very end, I would greatly appreciate your assistance with this edit. Thank you kindly. All the core information is in the middle, which is interesting when we just talked about the lost in the middle effect. We give pleasantries at the beginning, we give pleasantries at the end, and the real hardcore part of the task is in the middle, and that's where the AI could actually lose their focus. This is how the prompt would be in a language LLMs fully understand. You have your role, task, your references, like the album cover and the pictures of the two individuals, the setting, and what you're actually looking for, and then the output format as well. Now, not only are these formats easier for you to read, but they also give the AI a clear roadmap to follow without losing direction. Practice writing your prompts this way, even for small, simple tasks. This will create habits that will benefit you in the future. Another critical habit is thread isolation. Stop dumping everything into your primary chat companion thread. You see, your chat history isn't just a visual log of your screen, it is the active short-term memory that the AI rereads from top to bottom every single time you reply. That's why if you're working on an image generation, you must use a dedicated image thread. And if you are coding a specific feature, you keep it strictly in the tasks thread. When you force a single companion thread to handle your code, your script planning, your image prompts, and your daily questions all at once, you cross-contaminate the context window. The machine's attention mechanism breaks down trying to parse unrelated instructions. Treat each thread as a single-purpose sandbox environment. Use your chat history when returning to a task. One task, one thread, keep your AI clean and on mission. This keeps the context warm, allowing the AI to remember your guidelines, naming styles, and code structure. This single habit will save you as you transition into an agentic engineer, especially when managing multiple distinct projects or separate AI agents where you cannot afford to let your data bleed together. And touching back on politeness or having conversational chats, having a dedicated thread will prevent those conversations from leaking into your other tasks. Never skip the quality check. AI outputs, whether code, tables, or images, are called artifacts, and they often hide hallucinations, placeholder comments, or visual bugs. This just happened on a major scale the other day. A major government agency had to issue a formal apology after a staffer hastily generated a presentation graphic that fundamentally hallucinated global geography. The model didn't just misplace a few borders, it confidently hallucinated massive coastal nations directly into landlocked patches of the Sahara Desert. Don't be like that staffer. Check your work. If you spot a mistake, don't hit reset. Just prompt the AI to fix that specific piece. This is a real-world example of a result. Do you notice the artifacts in this image? One family member has 3 arms. I can't tell you how many times I've come across this. Easy fix. By telling your AI specifically that the boy on the right has 3 arms and there should only be 2. But upon closer examination, they also have too many digits on their hand. Another easy fix, and the image is perfect. We hid text and image artifacts in our first episode. Did you catch them? Let us know in the comments below. Master these core habits: structured prompting, YAML formatting, and offline drafts, and you will instantly climb the AI maturity curve. You are transitioning from casual chatting to leveraging AI as a structured personal assistant. Next comes vibe coding, where you direct code generation to build entire applications in minutes. Ultimately, you reach the peak, agentic engineering, designing closed loops where the AI autonomously builds, tests, and corrects its own code. But remember, you cannot orchestrate an agent if you cannot prompt it. Every single autonomous system relies entirely on a foundational system prompt. The habits you build today dictate the architectures you will deploy tomorrow. In our next episode, we will cover file and database structure. We'll learn how to uniform file naming, labeling styles, and structured workflows to keep both you and your agents organized. Our foundation is looking solid. Let's keep building. Hit subscribe to lock in the rest of the series, and let's start prompting in a language both humans and AI truly understand.